We can't blame them. Can everybody hear me? Right past 3 o'clock, we need to get the meeting started. Okay, thank you. If we could all rise and open the floor. Let's begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order now. My computer says 3:04 p.m. And I want to go through, we did meet in a rather lengthy executive session this morning. We have to recess it. We're going to continue that on Thursday. But we did cover an awful lot of ground, and I'll recap those. First of all, we approved the minutes from the May 2nd and the May 16th executive sessions and a code enforcement meeting. We also approved the professional governance standards and confidentiality agreement that all board members signed. That was approved unanimously and signed. We approved the DRC variance. We denied an enforcement variance request. We discussed personnel discussions. We tabled a homeowner request. We tabled another homeowner request. And we tabled a contract negotiation for further information. And we approved one contract negotiation, and we reviewed committee applications. So that's what we did in an executive session. And first thing here, we're going to move into committee reports. TGIS is Todd here. I think I saw him. There he is. Okay, thank you. Just ready to go now.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. First, I'd like to acknowledge Mike, Dennis, and Nancy for your selection to TGMA Award. We're looking forward to working with you three along with Lee and Scott for the betterment of the community.
Nobody can talk, can't hear you.
I just congratulated these three folks for getting on the board. We just got done with our survey. We had 414 replies, closed down on 31 May. We're in the process of compiling it into the comments. The other ones are just bar graphs. We're going to present it to TGIS board on the 21st of June, and then we'll go ahead and get it blessed, and we'll send it out to everybody to go ahead and look at. And lastly, I've been talking with Lee and Scott about a town hall with both boards, and I guess, I don't know if we want to touch on that, but that's coming up down the road. That's all I got. Unless you have any questions.
Thank you. Okay, any other committee reports that we may have on the floor? Okay, short of that, we'll go to the general manager report from Tracy.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We'll get things started off by saying in advance, Happy Father's Day to everybody coming up this month. I hope you guys enjoy all of your celebrations together. Everything that you do is truly appreciated, I'm sure, by your family. We have a couple of issues. We're going to be starting our avocado harvests. We are working with PAR right now. They should be scheduled as of most likely next week. We're detailing schedules right now. As they're harvesting, we'll be sending out e-blasts as to which canyons will be affected and where you will see them. We will also, when they harvest the Fuerte avocados, I believe is the name, they will be providing those to the associations. We'll also be looking up, you guys can be looking out for those e-blasts, letting you know that we have avocados out for you guys to come and see us. And we had a lot of fun last year actually handing them out to everyone and getting those almost like trick or treat. You guys come up and we just give you avocados. So we had a lot of fun being able to just chat and visit with you guys as you come up. So we're looking forward to that one also. I was going to make the announcement of our new board member, but I think everybody already knows all about that and who won. We have some exciting news here. We've been working really, really hard, the entire team, in rebuilding our team trilogy. And we are really pleased to announce we are fully staffed. We were sad that we lost Kara. She promoted up to community manager within FSR, but we have hired a replacement for her. And I would like to introduce to all of you Rigo. So Rigo, stand up. Come on, you got to do your introduction. So Rigo comes to us with a pretty extensive HOA background, but also some event management skills. So he's got a great handle on what we need. You'll be seeing him out. He's going to be helping Dan out with the quarters and with the maintenance of the facilities. So we're excited to see that position shift and change a little bit more hands-on within the community. So when you see him out and about, be sure to say hello and bug him a little bit. We also are excited to, for the first time since I've been here, have a very strong porter team that is completely staffed. We are permanently hiring Jesus right now. I'm sure a lot of you have already met him and seen him around the community. We have Jeremy, Octavian, and Ruben also. Octavian and Ruben are usually the nighttime crew, but they're four amazing young men that we are very, very pleased to have on the team. So once again, when you see them out and about, stop them, say hi, introduce yourself. They're all really great guys. That's about all I have for now, so I'm gonna hand it back over to you.
Okay. Next on the agenda was Operation Manager report from Mary, but Mary is sick. Do we have her on the phone?
No, Jessica's
Is going to fill in. Thank you, Jessica.
Hello, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay? All right. So from Mary, hello Trilogy residents. Just a quick update on the Blue Water. The bees seem to be gone for now, hopefully for good, which is a huge concern of mine. I hate bees. The vendor came out and found that there may have been a hive in one of the pillars located near the upstairs gym. The vendor found a small hole that the bees may have been going in and out of. They were able to spray and seal up the hole. So far, so good. This does not mean we may not run into bees around the outdoor pool this season. I've been told because of all of the rains this last year, it's likely we see an increase in bees this year. Hopefully they do their thing and leave quickly so that we may enjoy our beautiful outdoor pool area. If a bee lands on you, stay calm. They won't sting unless they feel threatened. We now have a new swim instructor, Stephanie. She will be teaching our Wednesday swim classes. I've already heard many positive comments about her classes, so stop by and try one out. 4th of July tickets went on sale this past Monday, and we do have about 30 tickets left for that. So stop by the Blue Water at your earliest convenience to pick yours up. Next month at the Blue Water, we will also be having an ice cream social. Stay tuned for more info on that. There's no charge for this, but it is going to be first come, first serve, while supplies last. If you have not heard, soon we'll be getting in new banquet tables for the ballroom. The used tables we have now are being sold at $20 a table. If you are interested in 1 or 16 of them, you can contact myself, Beanie Mary, or Dan for more information. And thank you from Mary. Now on to the Lifestyles report. Just a quick breakdown of the events we have coming up for June. Back by popular demand this weekend, we have our Saturday brunch. This event sold out almost immediately once again, even after we opened it up in the ballroom so we could accommodate more people. This just confirms to us that this is a look forward to event, and we look forward to having many more of them throughout the years. Along with our monthly events of Day Bingo on the 20th, which starts at 1 o'clock and lasts until about 3 o'clock, and Movie Day on the 8th, which also starts at 1 p.m. We have our first day of summer luau on June 21st from 1 to 4 over at the Blue Water Pool. So fingers crossed the June gloom is gone by then. We're very happy to partner with a few members of the Ukulele Club as well, who will be giving a special performance. We also have Singles Night coming up on June 28th, which I'm very excited about. It'll be from 5 to 8, plenty of snacks and drinks. We'll have an icebreaker, games, music, and social time, which is what this event is all about. I've had lots of people express to me that they're hesitant to go to events or concerts because they have no one to go with. So I would hope that this event can help remedy that by allowing folks to make new friends within the community, get involved with our events with friends by their side. And if a romantic spark happens, I wouldn't be mad at that either, and I can add matchmaker to my resume. Tickets are available for that at the PCL front desk, so stop and sign up. And as Mary also mentioned, tickets are still available for our July 4th pool party, so sign up for that if you haven't already, if you plan on spending that holiday with us. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move into the first open forum. There's one at the close of the meeting. So I think we do have a few speaker cards here. So we can call those up here. Oh, hang on a second. Time's up. Apologize, I missed my granddaughter's promotion from 8th grade to high school. She's now a high school freshman, and she was just calling grandpa. So let me apologize for that. But grandma attended that meeting, that promotion this morning. Grandpa had a meeting. I'm going to warm up here with Jim Bickley. Jim, if you'd like to come up front, and I know you have a short request to make for the board, a presentation from the poker club.
Thank you. This will be real quick, I think, I hope. For all of, I don't know how many of you out there play poker, but we need another table so I can lose more money. We started off in the poker room over here. We started, that's unusual. Can you hear me now? We started off in the poker room many years ago with about 5 or 6, 7, 8 people, and then we built it up to about 25. And then COVID hit, and we had some illegal games going on in some garages that we got a few complaints on. But anyway, it's picked back up, and we have 2 full-size poker tables, professional poker tables in the room in here. It's a really nice facility, and we really enjoy coming up. There are a couple of different nights that people play on. The night I play on is Thursday night, and we're now up to about 25 regular players, and we actually sometimes have as many as 30. We currently have 2 professional tables in there that are very nice, just like what you would see at a poker, the room is what they used to call it, I guess, the poker room. They don't have it at the chain anymore. Anyway, we would like to have another table. Also, that room is not used just for the Thursday night group. There are other groups in addition. The women's group that plays on Wednesday night. They're starting to get larger and larger, and they've been doing that for many years now also. So it's pretty well used, and we would appreciate a consideration for, I guess we have to get your permission. I don't know how all this works, to be honest with you. I'm standing in for Rudy tonight. He's getting some dental work done. So anyway, I understand that they cost somewhere between $2,000 to $2,500. That we've done a number of research, and we'd be happy to assist in any of that. And I guess that's all I have, unless you have some questions.
I actually have a quick question for you, Jim. If we add another large table in there, we're gonna have to, we don't have enough rooms, we're gonna have to get rid of one of the other tables. Are you guys proposing that we sell one of the smaller tables so that we have room for a larger?
I would, for the simple reason, they're reversible tables, so you can use that. So the smaller tables that you'd be taking out would still have plenty of facilities for anything that you want to do with the other tables.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Any questions from the audience?
What
Yes.
about the different groups that go to play mahjong and different groups in there? Are we taking the smaller tables out? Like you just said, and put the bigger one in? Maybe that comment?
Well, I personally think there would still be plenty. You would have to maybe take one out. I think that there'll be one small one still. I think there's 2 small and 2 large right now. Is that right?
There's 3 small.
I think that you'd only have to take out one small probably.
The difficulty with playing mahjong is you need to sit across from each other in 4 sections, so having a budget for setting that a long tables doesn't not really adhere to their game either. I'm just bringing it up because I need to.
Just for my curiosity, how many people do you have playing mahjong?
I've not been doing it since I had 2 surgeries, so I haven't started that, but I know they're asking.
Well, normally, how many do they have?
Well, let me step in here. It is a multi-use room, more than just one purpose. I know we traditionally call it the
Are you
poker
done
room.
with me so I can sit down and listen to you?
Pardon?
Are you done with me so I can sit down and listen to you?
Yeah.
I'll go out there.
But we will do a survey of what that room is used for. I do know on Tuesday morning, because I was in there for a meeting, ladies come in, they can rearrange the furniture, because they have a ladies' Bible study in there. So there's multi-uses of that room. We'll have to do a survey and see what we can do to match, as many of the uses as possible in the groups that are in there, so.
And like I said again, the tables are reversible for the multiple use. If you had 4 corners, I could understand. It's a long corner, long arms, long reach. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, well, Betty,
I'm up.
you're up.
Okay. I really debated between talking today or not. So, because I care about all the functions in Trilogy, and I care for all the teams that have put so many delightful things together. in this organization. When I found out that we were going to have the Good Neighbor Club, I was thrilled because I knew that the drama group had said, no way, Jose. Now, I know that may tip some of my friends on one side off today or friends on another side. Please, I'm for what's best for all of us here in Trilogy. And so I was here for the last meeting when I heard one of the ladies speak that this would be a club that would be able to enrich and enhance our community here. And it would not take away from other committees. Then I went to see all my grandkids, and now I'm back. And then I hear in rumors, whoa, there's going to be a dinner, a dance, and hamburgers at a more reasonable price. Now, I believe at the last committee, when they talked about it, we did not hear about, I did not pick up on that it was reasonable. I agree with the newcomers committee. We do need more reasonable activities. I agree 100% with that. I also agree with the others that we don't want conflict. And I believe the new thing that's coming up is a conflict to the Connection Club, to the other clubs that do dinners. I was hoping the Newcomers Club would do more things like the casino, more of what drama did, where you went to the theaters and did things like that. So I was very excited about that because I'm now physically able to get out and do more. So that was a concern, that it's not set up. It's too crossing there. And I know there's difficulties with the travel club and they'll address that. So I think we need to have a clear, I guess, checking with the committee meetings and say, what are you planning? What are you doing? And make sure that it isn't crossing over. That's another thing. I am concerned about the scheduling also, because now I'm hearing this club is doing this and this is doing this, and it's the night before, the night thing before. So everyone who's scheduling these events should be cautious, because now you're taking community members away from one group to do that to another, and eventually what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to support both functions properly. So I'm for both. I believe there's plenty of room for all groups to work together. I believe that we, as your committees who are sponsoring this, need to have thorough directions and get it cleared what each people are doing. Maybe you have a group or something, because I know that with the economy, it's really hurt a lot of people to attend some of the upper events. Now, some of the upper events are extremely wonderful, and we don't want to cancel any of those either. So maybe we could go the theaters locally. Maybe we could get the gambling going again. Maybe we could do something, but try desperately. And I understand that, like in Joe's thing, that they had communicated with Joe and that it wasn't a conflict. But unfortunately, I believe it is a conflict there. But I'm for both. And I use the travel club all the time. I do all the others. So I just wanted to thank you for letting me speak for them.
Well, you're very welcome.
Any questions? Go on, you run the meeting.
Thank you for.
I'm used to running meetings.
Thank you for your comments, Betty. We do have a theoretical 3-minute limit for all of these public comments.
I'm used to being the head.
No, I'll be talking to Ed about that later today. We had a 5.5-hour executive session this morning. We got through more than half of our agenda. We had to recess the meeting. So number one, I could plug my laptop in and I have enough juice from that meeting to this meeting. But we had a lengthy discussion on all the social clubs. And so rather than people can speak, I won't cut anybody off from speaking, but I will say this. At the board level, we have set up an ad hoc committee made up of Dennis Walden and Mike Foxworth, 2 of the new members. They're going to meet with the chairman of the social clubs, and we will air all of these issues. They're going to start by looking at the governing documents of how the clubs are set up, how we coordinate the clubs, how we prevent duplication, if there is duplication, how we managed through that. And, yeah, I'll list them in just a second here. Thank you. I think I have all, but I missed one. So that is all going to happen. Our new ad hoc committee, raise their hands down here, identify themselves. Okay, they are both quality gentlemen that I have a lot of confidence in. They care about this community. They care about all of our activities. They asked for a timeline. I asked them to be able to report back to the board for next month's meeting, which will be on the 11th. So the social clubs chairmen will be contacted fairly shortly. And that will be the Connections Club, the Happening Club, the Travel Club, the World Fest Club, and the Latin Club. And if we missed one, we'll certainly add that. So they will give a total hearing to all these issues and try to reconcile, if there is a conflict, try to reconcile the conflicts. I think you mentioned that he's scheduling, make sure we don't double, triple schedule. I will tell you this, across this community today, to reserve a room and get a room reserved, to have a meeting, is becoming more and more of a challenge because we just have more and more events all the time. So we've listened to that. We had a presentation concerning this at the executive session. It was well listened to, well heard, and I think we have a plan to respond to that at whatever level that's necessary. So I don't know, I do have other names up here that people wanted to come up and talk. And I won't cut anybody off, but just for the sake of not having to hear the same discussion or the same point raised 10 times, because we're all mature adults here. Let's limit it to the point where if there's a point to make, let's make it. But if the speaker before you or earlier had made the same point, let's just be sensitive to everybody in the room. The board has heard the concern. My commitment is that we will do all we can to resolve any conflicts, any duplications, without limiting any club's ability to function as they were designed to function. So that being said, I have a couple of names up here, a couple of lists of names. I'll bring it up. I'll call Mary Ellen Bleach if she would like to come up and add anything to what I said. Mary Ellen?
Thank you. I'll keep it short and sweet. Bottom line is, there is a policy in place that states that no new club will be approved if its purpose is similar to other existing clubs. And that's all I have to say right now.
Mary Ellen? That was short and sweet. Thank you. I have Tammy Childress. Okay, thank you very much. Lori Ware.
I'll ask for them.
Thank you very much. Debbie Haggerty.
I'll be starting.
Thank you very much.
I believe my concerns have already been addressed. My only concern was just that we would do a better job at scheduling. I know the new happening event is Saturday, the 24th. Corral Canyon is Sunday, the 25th. same menu, hamburgers, hot dogs, music. The boutique, which is a big event here, is having a fundraiser on the 28th. Now the new singles event is on the 28th. So that was my concern, is that we would do a better job of scheduling so that there's not things back to back or on the same day. Thank you.
That may be a challenge, but thank you.
Exactly, okay, so we're drawing things to each other instead of helping each other.
Okay. And you can put yourself in my shoes. Just booking a room for a meeting can be
Oh,
a
I know,
challenge.
believe me, I know, I
Yes.
know, cross candy.
That's all that I had there. So, I hope you know, and you know, I should have right from the first. This is almost a totally brand new board. I've been on for 3 years, I'm halfway through my second term. Scott has been on for 3 years, he's halfway through his second term. The other three gentlemen and lady are brand new. They had their first meeting this morning, and in the 3 years that I have served, it was the absolute longest meeting that I have sat through. But we addressed a variety of very important things, and I think we've covered a lot of it. So anyway, thank you for your patience and your attention, and we'll continue into the agenda. I have the consent calendar.
All right.
Okay.
It's a bit of a lengthy consent calendar this month, so we'll dive right into it. We have on the consent calendar the approval of minutes for the open session dated May 2nd, committee minutes for May 9th, liens for May, P-card approval for the month of April, investment proposals for June, committee application approval for June. We have a breakpoint ratified. Vortex PCL patio door ratified. Cuyamaca Antis ratified. 8969 Cuyamaca Antis ratified. Condo light fixture purchase ratified. Fire sprinkler test ratified. Desert air unit repairs ratified. Lake Center AC unit drain line repair ratified. PCL Discovery Room concrete repair ratified. Steelhead Slope concrete change order ratified. Condo elevator battery ratified. Blue Water Sports Club Antis ratified. Blue Water Sports Club Breakpoint ratified. Espinosa Slope area drain hydrojet ratified. Aquatronics LC ratified. And last but not least, Lake Center Light Bollard ratified. Does the board have any questions on any of the items listed on the consent calendar for this month?
I don't. I'd like a motion to approve the consent calendar.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar. I second.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor? Okay. All in favor? Thank you. Hang on just one second. Step here with me. This is my first time having to serve as president. And I want to be, I want to be able to go home and tell my wife I did a halfway good, decent job before somebody would call up and tell her I did a horrible job. All right, I think we're to new business. And that would be the financial statements and report for April of 2023.
Thank you, Lee. So this is the April financial report. This report was prepared by First Service Residential ending April 30th, 2023. Keep in mind, April is the first month of our new fiscal year. We performed a review of the statements for accuracy and integrity, and all statements have been fairly stated, and budget variances have been explained. For our summary of reserve funds, our year-to-date balance, again, which is just April 1 through the end of the month, So our beginning of the year balance is, for masters, the year-to-date balances, which includes our homeowner assessments, our interest earned, and the expenditures made. Master, we have a balance of $5,756,163. Condo, we have a year-to-date balance of $1,677,515. Elevator, we have a balance of $740,274. All three combined, year-to-date balance of $8,173,952. For our liquidity ratios, anything over 1 is considered healthy. Master, we're at 1.2, condo 14.8, and we're completely liquid in elevator. For our aging and uncollectible HOA over 60-day delinquencies, we have 4 in the master, 1 in condo, and 2 for elevator. For our master summary of operations and budget, operating revenue, we have a positive variance to budget of $22,232. Operating expense, we have a positive variance to budget of $21,111. And then our net income is a positive variance of $43,343. For our variance explanations, operating revenue, we were over budget, positive variance of $22,232. We just changed beginning this year. TGIS is going to be giving us 2 payments yearly. Our budget is not updated as of yet, should be fixed next month, but that's why we see that $27,194 being over budget in TGIS event reimbursement. Miscellaneous revenue under budget by $2,775 due to miscoding of TGIS enhancement fee payment. Our avocado revenue is under budget $1,500 as we haven't begun harvesting yet, and then $687 in other minor variances. For our operating expenses, utilities were under budget $11,353. Potable water is part of that under budget of $8,662 due to continued water conservation, as well as we have seen a rate drop there. Electricity is under budget by $5,233 due to E-rate classification with Southern California Edison, and then $2,542 of other minor variances. Landscape, we're under budget $19,943. Irrigation monitoring, we had to receive that invoice, so we have that $12,000 being under budget there. Irrigation repairs under budget $4,167 due to fewer repairs required. Our plant tree replacement budget is under by $3,574 due to fewer work orders, and then $202 in other minor variances. Our swimming pool and spa is under budget $116 just due to no repairs needed. Our spa and fitness was under budget $1,878. Majority of that coming from fitness class being under budget by $1,738. Our class fee is the GL line for our revenue side, which is also under budget by $2,036, so that washes. And then we have $140 in other minor variances. Our event expense is over budget $3,582, $3,909 of that being over budget is just due to deposits for our summer events this year. And then $326 of other minor variances. Our common area budget is under by $27, so no reporting needed there for variance. Our admin expense is over budget by $8,624. $11,688 of which is from our special taxes, our Mello-Roos being over budget. It's just due to our allocation of budget. It was spread out through the year, and it should be majority of which in the first month, so that'll be fixed next year as well. Our on-site postage is over budget with print mail by $1,363 just due to our prepayment of postage. Payroll expenses under budget by $6,145 due to timing of staffing agency billing, and then other minor variances of $1,718. Lastly, our summary of operations and budget for condos and elevator. For condos, our operating revenue has a negative variance of $1. Our operating expenses has a negative variance of $432, leaving us a negative net income of $433. For elevator, operating revenue is flat to budget. Our operating expenses is favorable $569, with the same net income being favorable of $569. That concludes our financial report for April.
Motion to approve the financial report.
I make a motion to approve the April financial report as reported.
Second. And a second. Okay. Any discussion? Questions? Okay. Can we have a vote then? All right, unanimous.
All right, I guess I'm up. The Rose Garden has for a little while been in disrepair. The plants have not been doing very well. O'Connell has gone in and trimmed up the roses and brought those back up to good standard, but several of the boxwoods, Japanese boxwoods, have they've passed and they need to be replaced. So we need to have Japanese boxwoods and a few of the roses replaced. O'Connell has provided a proposal to have this work done, and we're asking the board to move to approve the proposal from O'Connell Landscape for the replanting of the dead plants located in the Rose Garden at a cost not to exceed $856 to be expensed from Master Reserve account GL 23112 or Landscape Reserve. Do you have any questions?
I believe what this does is just refurbish the plan that is existing, along the boxwood hedge and some of the roses.
That is correct.
There's no major redesign involved, is that
No
correct?
renovation whatsoever.
All right. Any other questions? All right. I'll move that we accept this proposal from O'Connell. I can't read it with my bad eye.
The proposal is to approve the proposal from O'Connell Landscape for the replacing of the dead plants in the Rose Garden at a cost not to exceed $856.
That was my proposal. Second? All right, any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Thank you.
Okay, next up is the Hatton Lane Inlet. So there's a bee ditch behind the homes on Hatton Lane. Basically what's happening is during heavy rains, the bee ditch inlet drain gets really clogged up with debris. There's pine needles and leaves. So management met with 3 different contractors to see what we can do to remedy the situation. And they all proposed, since the inlet drain is flat, or the grate is flat, they all propose to make a mounted or rounded inlet grate. So management got pricing from 3 different vendors. This proposal request is unique because it's not going to be an apples to apples bid. The reason being is because the first vendor we met with decided, yes, let's change out the flat inlet grate with a rounded one, but also change out the curb cores plumbing towards the street, because they felt the way it was designed, when looking in, it wasn't to its benefit, but it turns out it's not really what the issue is when we talk to the homeowner. Met with another guy who said, yeah, let's change out this inlet from a flat to a rounded grate cover, but also there's some cracks in the concrete on the bee ditch, so they proposed to, jackhammer all that out, re-pour it and everything for a pretty substantial cost. The last person I met with had a similar scope of work, but instead of taking out all the concrete, just patch fill it, just crack fill it with it's like a mastic type of material. It's got some stretch to it. It'll seal it up. The cracks are pretty minor. So with that said, the proposals or the scope of works weren't similar. So we reached out to the other 2 to try to have them match up their proposals to do the crack fill option, and they both, the first one didn't respond after numerous attempts, and the second one said this job is too small. They declined. So with that said, management is looking for the board to approve the proposal by Concrete Hazard Solutions
to replace the flat inlet grate with a raised inlet grate and repair the damaged concrete V-ditch on Hatton Lane at a cost not to exceed $750.
Okay, you know, I know Dan has spent an awful lot of time looking at this one little drain section. It has been an issue for years in this area on the bottom of this slope. And primarily, I will tell you from watching that now, and being prodded by the resident there, many times. Battery is running out. Sorry about that. Sorry. Hi. I'm not sure what everybody heard, but this area has been a constant problem with drainage. On some of these massive rains that we've had going back 4 or 5 years, but even this year, it was just nasty. It required primarily the leaves and the V-ditch to be cleaned out. And that, but you don't clean them out today or tomorrow, yesterday. You clean them out as needed. If it rained tonight, they better be cleaned out. If we had winds and it was going to rain again tomorrow night, they needed to be cleaned out again. We did the best we could with our vendor to get this done. At times, the resident that lived there would go out and clean it out. He won't be doing that anymore because as of tomorrow morning, Betty and I lose a neighbor and he's on his way to Georgia. But we do seriously hope and have been advised that this could be a very commonsensical and simple solution. So we hope that it is. If it's not, next time we get a heavy rain, we'll have to revisit it. But I would move that we accept the proposal for $750 from Concrete Hazard Solutions to put this dome drain in. Any other second? Have a second for that? Okay. Any other discussion? Okay. We would like to vote. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, guys. Okay, moving along, we have the Blue Water Sports Club pool umbrellas. So the pool umbrellas at the Blue Water Sports Club have one remaining useful life. One remaining useful year, I should say, remaining. The last umbrella replacement was in September of 2014. Over the past 2 years, about 6 umbrellas have broken, with many more on their last leg. The fabric is ripped, and due to age, they are not able to be switched out and are in need of a full replacement. The Blue Water Sports Club currently has pulley lift umbrellas. Pulley lift umbrellas are the standard patio umbrellas that require you to insert a metal pin into a hole to hold the umbrella in the open position. A crank lift umbrella has a crank on the pole that opens and closes the umbrella with a series of gears. Crank systems are ideal for larger umbrellas and require minimal physical exertion. The color chosen for the base, pole, and framework is bronze to match the color of the existing umbrellas. The color chosen, chestnut, is the closest in color to the current umbrellas, which is more of that red color. So what management is looking is for the board to approve a contract as proposed by Patio Shoppers with the purchase of 10 table umbrellas with 10 bases and 10 freestanding umbrellas with 10 bases and wheels for the Blue Water Sports Club at a total cost not to exceed $15,877.50. And these umbrellas, I reached out to the supplier. They have a 3-year warranty on the frames. They have a 2-year warranty on the crank mechanism and a 7-year warranty on the fabrics. They mentioned that they outlast the warranties and the parts to the umbrellas are replaceable. For example, the rib arms can individually be easily replaced if needed.
Okay. Any questions from the board regarding this?
I have a question. Was the reason that the bid from Telescope wasn't accepted was because it didn't offer the crank preferred crane?
Let me,
That's
so,
the mechanism?
yeah, I think,
I'm sorry. I'm asking about the third bid here is actually slightly less than the winning bid, but it is apparently ruled out because it doesn't match the cranking mechanism of the first bid.
yeah, so Carolyn has actually worked on this. I just inherited it and presented it, but when we talked, the crank was more because of just how easy you can open and close it. We were going with that. I know when I open and close these umbrellas, it takes some force. You know, you gotta get up on your tippy toes, get up there and push that pin in. For the telescope version, they didn't have a crank. They didn't have the crank option. So we were thinking, what's best for the community for resort style living, make it easier for folks to open and close the umbrellas. We wanted to move forward with the crank option.
There's about a $1,300 difference between that bid and the proposed winning bid. But for that reason, because of the crank, we're preferring patio shoppers.
Correct. Yeah, that's the whole reason behind it. Usually we like to look at cost, but also we're looking at value too. We want to make sure it's something that's going to benefit the residents. I know that if it's not the crank, it's not. I mean, everybody can lift it up, but a lot of times we've seen people get on tables just to get it up there, and it takes some strength sometimes. So it's good to have it to where anyone can access it and open and close them.
One more question, is patio shoppers a vendor we have experience with?
We have, okay.
We have used them in the past, and they are the premier in the industry right now.
Is that real? Right. So, is the timing on this, you're gonna move forward right away if this gets, passed? Is that the plan?
So I would have to, for First Source Residential, we have to make them go through, since they're a supplier, we have to go through a pre-screening process, which takes really no more than a week or so, getting the minutes. But once we do that, I'll get more of an idea. Yeah, I would like to do it right away. But I don't know, inheriting this project, I don't know the lead time, so I can find all that out. But yeah, I would look to getting it right away. And our goal would be to utilize some of the good conditioned umbrellas around the community elsewhere where we do have tables and chairs in other areas that don't have umbrellas. So I would love to, survey and see which ones we can still use and put them out there and maybe store the rest in our workshop. So, but yeah, I would like to do it right away.
Last thing to say, we aren't reporting, we're seeing information here that the reserve accounts for these areas more than adequately cover this expense. This is allotted, accounted for in the current reserve funds to make this expenditure at this time.
And I know they're still a year out for when they call it useful life, but just the condition they're in now, they're on the verge of just ripping. They're in poor condition. I feel that they need to go sooner than later.
Yeah, I was out there with Jessica Memorial Day where I had to get there and help the ladies hoist those things up. They're terrible. Put the pins in.
Yeah.
Most of them are in bad shape. It's almost embarrassing to go out there. So I have a good quality umbrella is worth it. Do I have any feel with the estimated life maybe of those new ones?
I'm not sure. They just said so for their warranty, they have 7-year on the fabric. And they said those warranties, of course, warranties, they usually don't want to use them. The supplier did say they easily outlast their warranties. So any time after that, it's hard to tell. I think what we have to do internally though, we have to go on a maintenance schedule where we have to keep those umbrellas closed because it doesn't cover wind damage. So if it's windy out, which we do anyways now, we make sure those umbrellas are closed on windy days. But I think in general, we'll just make sure they're closed. When not in use, we have the night porter do that as a nightly task. And even some of the staff at the Blue Water just to, have more eyes on it, just to make sure they're maintained.
And I would add too, frequently these get moved by residents. The chance of them being damaged when they're being moved greatly increases when that happens. So if we as a community can, just abide by where they are and move a chair.
So here's some good news.
It would be helpful.
Here's some good news with this project, if I haven't had any already. The bases on the freestanding ones have wheels, so they should be able to be easily moved. If you get the right fulcrum point, you can move these ones. They're not gonna be just those bases that are dragging on the ground, creating,
Okay.
so they'll have wheels on it, yeah.
All right. Is there any other discussion?
Yeah, Dan, what'd you say we do with the old ones?
We're gonna survey the ones that are there and just anything we can salvage. I wanna look at all the other areas. We have the tennis courts, they might have umbrellas already, I'm not sure. But we have the back patios here, we have the lake center back patio, any table and chairs around the, community that don't have umbrellas, they will have umbrellas. And then we'll just keep the good ones in storage still, just for that fact, until we do switch those ones out.
I think that's a good idea, not by the courts, if there's some left.
Yeah, I know there's tables at each of the courts, I don't know if there's umbrellas, but either way, we can put umbrellas there.
Good idea.
Any other discussion, questions? All right, we have a motion to approve.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I'm not correct. Does the warranty cover fading in color?
I'm not sure. That's a good question. Yeah.
Some color does not fade.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, I inherited this one, so I don't have all the details. They just have the 7-year warranty on the fabric, but they don't really specify what it's about. Yeah, these ones are definitely fading. Yeah, the good thing is these are top of the line, equipment. So I do feel we'll get the most bang for our buck. I feel if fading is an issue, these will be the best type you can get. But I don't have an answer. But I definitely hear what you're saying. I do feel warranties are more manufacturer defects probably. So fading, I would assume not, but again, I don't know. We could find it out though. And the good thing is we can always switch them out depending on cost. If it gets really bad, these are interchangeable, so we can actually order new fabrics. So that's an option too. If it gets to be where it's not aesthetically pleasing over a few years, we can look into that option.
We have a motion on this.
I don't know. I have a motion that we approve patio shoppers for the identified umbrellas.
Second. We have a motion and a second.
Sorry, we're still learning.
Everybody voices it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All right, we'd like to vote. All right, unanimous. All right.
Okay, next up is the Lake Center water heater. So currently in our kitchen, it's a commercial kitchen that hosts events, but we do not have hot water currently. Management met with 3 different plumbers to assess it, and they all agree that it needs to be replaced. So actually, let me read it. This is another inherited project, so let me just read it. The Lake Center building does not have any hot water. Management contacted 3 plumbers to see if the water heater could be repaired. All the vendors informed management that it cannot be repaired, most likely due to the age of the unit, and must be replaced with a 50-gallon commercial water heater. So with that said, the most cost-effective proposal came back from Guardian Plumbing. So management is looking for the board to approve a quote proposed by Guardian Plumbing for the removal and install of a new water heater at the Lake Center at a total cost not to exceed $3,862. And this is a commercial grade water heater. It's not your typical residential water heater.
Projected life cycle period, do we know?
I don't know. I know when I had my water heater replaced, it was a residential. They said about 10 years, but again, I inherited this one, so I don't quite know. I don't know. Guardian Plumbing says they include a 1-year warranty on all parts and labor, but that's kind of standard. As for useful years, I'm not sure.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Someone would like to make a motion?
water heater from Guardian Plumbing.
Nancy seconded. All right. Have a show of hands on the vote. Unanimous. Moving on. We have reports. This is the next item on the agenda. Do you have anything from O'Connell to report? Anybody here from O'Connell? Let's see what. Management has a landscape report. All right. Tara? All right. Any discussion from the board on anything? No. All right. Proposal to approve.
I make a proposal that we approve all the reports in Connell, landscape, and park.
Second. All right. Show of hands. All right, thank you. Then we have a discussion on holiday lights.
Yeah, so, the holiday, I'm gonna read this. The holiday lighting vendor has been the same for at least the past 5 years. They always have the lowest prices compared to the other holiday light vendors. Each year, this is being bid out, and management is asking if the board wants to forego the bidding process at this point, since the same vendor always earns the job. We have $4,400 in our operating account set aside for holiday lights, which is what the vendor Perfect Holiday Lighting usually gets close to. The other vendors come in a lot higher. It is also getting difficult to keep telling the other vendors who bid for this that they're not getting the job. Management would like feedback from the board to see if we should continue the bidding process for the holiday lights or elect to just go with the vendor who has done our lights in the past. And I can give you some cost comparisons. So it looks like last year we awarded Perfect Holiday Lighting the project for $4,708. The next closest bidder was California Christmas at $7,600, and then we had Light Up My Holiday at a cost of $13,016. So very, very different cost comparisons. And that's pretty consistent with each year when we've been bidding this out. It's just Perfect Holiday Lighting comes in at the lowest each time, and they, in my opinion, do a good job. So I just want to know if we want to continue this bidding process, or do we just, at this point, reach out to the same vendor and just schedule it?
Well, Daniel, I'd like to ask, 4,400 is target, but that is not the actual bid he's making to do the project this year.
No, yeah, we don't know yet, but in our operating account, we have that much set aside for holiday lights, 4,400, which seems to be pretty close to what this vendor is, bid last year at least. But the other vendors, they just come in so much higher. It's not even close.
But has the holiday lighting actually submitted a quote for this year's project?
Not yet, no. We want to do that sooner than later, just to lock them in. But I just want to know just a little bit of direction from our board. Should I continue the bidding process, or do we just reach out to these guys because they just always have the best prices?
Well, everybody's raising, all the external vendors that I know of are raising prices this year because of the economy. So is there any way to have a firm idea on what he's willing to charge and have time then?
Not until we reach out. Not until we reach out. We could reach out. We'll do that soon just to make sure, see what their cost is.
This is June, so if you could reach out and find out if he's going to be in this ballpark.
Yeah, I could do that.
I think that would be the time to make authorization to go ahead with the purchase.
Okay,
Or
that makes
the
sense.
contract, but just based on the hope that he's going to be as prudent as ever, might not happen.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, and we'll do that. We'll get some, we'll reach out to them, get their pricing, and then I'll follow up with the board for further direction on that.
And you're not suggesting changing the design substantially from what we've done year over year?
I mean, unless the board wants to, there's different options. I know I came from Ladera Ranch where what they did was they bid it out every 2 years because they found that bidding every year, it causes bad relationships with vendors. But every 2 years, it's more reasonable. But they had significantly changed things up where they, instead of just putting lights in the buildings, because a lot of children over there, they put a lot of like yard decor type stuff in the common area. So this all depends on what this community likes. I think it looks pretty classy the way it does already. You know, I know the operating budget isn't too significant to work with, so changing it up might be difficult. But I think you know, it's up to you guys if you want to pursue other avenues of how you want to decorate for the holidays. But I feel it looks really nice for my first time seeing it. So.
Quick question, does it make any sense to sort of do a 2-year contract? Try to lock them into that price for 2 years?
Yeah, we can look into that. I'm not sure if that's what Ladera does, but either they do a 2-year or they just don't bid out for 2 years. But we can ask that. Maybe that'll help bring the cost down.
Yeah, maybe there's an incentive to have a 2-year contract.
That makes sense. That's worth a shot, you know, at least to ask and see what they can offer. So, yeah, good point. Okay, yeah, I'll work on getting those numbers and get it back over to you guys. I do have one more walk-on roundtable if you don't mind. It's not on the agenda. So, basically.
So since we're not going to vote to accept the proposal, I guess we'll just table this until you.
Yeah, it was more just a roundtable discussion anyways to see
Okay.
what you guys recommend. But yeah, it makes sense to actually get pricing first before we make a decision. That makes sense. So.
Okay, very good.
So the next item on roundtable I want to bring up is we have been having this ground fault error for a while now in our Blue Water Sports Club. An alarm keeps going off due to something with the fire system. They call it a ground fault error. We had our contracted vendor out, which is Costco Fire Protection. They looked at everything. They had determined that the OS&Y valve, the tamper switches out there, they're getting full of water. So, and there's also in the fire riser room, believe it or not, whoever installed it, there's a broken off piece of fish tape in the conduit, and it's just sitting there. So maybe that could be causing an issue where it might have cut some wire casings or something, but it needs to be repaired. So Costco had provided me a proposal in the amount, a pretty steep amount. It was $4,560 to do all those repairs. So we reached out to some other vendors to see if we can just get some different pricing. One vendor declined, they said they couldn't do it. Another vendor said they could do it, but it's gonna be almost $1,000 just to come out to look at it. That doesn't include any of the repairs that are gonna be done. Our contracted vendor, they came out and looked at it, you know, because we're contracted with them. I just wanna see, just wanna get some direction from the board. Should we just go ahead and move forward with the proposal from Costco Fire, who can do these repairs and we're contracted with them, or do you wanna take that risk for almost $1,000 to get somebody else out here to give us a second opinion?
So go through it again. You say you're getting ground fault notifications right now.
Yeah, so they're calling me in the wee hours of the night when it goes off. It's just it's a low voltage error where it could be exposed wire or a water intrusion, there's something going wrong. And if you keep getting those false alarms, it's like that boy who cried wolf thing where you think something's wrong, but it's just false alarm after false alarm. That's why they always call. They want to make sure. But when the vendor was out, they kind of narrowed it down to the OS&Y valve. You know, on Trilogy Park, or on the lodge entry, when you pull in, that big red, those big red pipes on the very left in front of the lodge parking, that's the OS&Y valve where when you take off the covers for the tamper switches, they're just full of water. And that's what the technician is saying that needs to be replaced. He had already dried it up, but it's gonna come back. He says, and we've noticed the error codes have not been happening because he did dry it up, but it's just gonna come back. But we need to get that repaired.
That's the U-shaped.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's the fire riser.
And then the fire riser.
Fire sprinklers go off, that thing would merely be activated. I I would be safer knowing it was working accurately.
Yeah.
Any other comments from the board?
Agreed. Okay, I get it fixed.
All right.
Okay.
I would propose then that we move ahead and have that fixed. What now? Was not on the agenda.
Okay.
So
So,
we'll,
Yeah, lock it
this
on.
will have to push forward till next month. So maybe it one more month.
okay.
And then you'll have a proposal, right? Our proposal. All right. Thank you. I think that brings us to the second homeowner open forum. If anybody would like to speak, do we have any other speaker cards that we filled out? All right, anybody out there in the audience that'd like to raise their hand? Maybe you've already had your.
No, I know, but not 3 minutes this time. Just the question is, because I am new, when, I just talked about the proposals on different things, and I'm looking at a high bid here and a low bid here, and I'm like, okay, when I see some bids coming in, my department's or managed, I would ask myself, could they compare apples to apples? And how close are the apples on the Christmas tree? Because those are big groups. Remember, I have to submit for each to the board. So I know.
So as far as I know, I think they are apples to apples, but I have never bid out this project. Typically, we try to get apples to apples and just compare the costs. So I have never bid these out. I just see the prices that they sent. So I couldn't tell you.
Okay. The other question I have is, when do we get to make a comment? Because the points like, no, I feel my input is important, so. Okay. It's at the end and everything's over? No. So it should be. So it's now.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate what you do.
Thank you. You have a good sense of humor too.
Yeah.
We gotta go home and tell Kent goodbye. Any other questions out there? Okay. Then our next board meeting, normally would have been on July the 4th. We weren't sure that we'd get the same number of attenders if we did it on the holiday, so we did move to push that back to July the 11th. And other than that, without any other comments from the board, we're adjourned.
So do I have any friends left?
I'm gonna let you know. So we want the vote is like, you did turn that. Second, vote, and that's what we wait for. I did. I don't know, you guys. This is what I would use it.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, I guess we need to stop.
I don't think so. Well, not even that, just the conversation, the interaction, yeah.